from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Oh, whoa. I got music playing somehow. We're going a little backwards now, aren't we? What is happening here? I'm echoing and everything. Oh, there we go. Now we're cooking. Sorry, gents. That was weird. Weird way to start a stream. But welcome to Call Me Old Fashioned again. We're going to be doing a little bourbon review. We got High West bourbon from Utah. You know, guys, I love Utah, so I figured we'd go ahead and crack into that. Plus, the last stream, you guys were recommending High West quite a bit. So I found a bourbon, not a rye, and we're going to give it a little try. So Tater Dom in the chat, what's going on, buddy? Let's go ahead and crack this bottle open. I usually open them before the stream, so you already know this is going to be a little chaotic. There we go. Come on. I wish I had like one of those like SpongeBob memes to say 5 minutes later. There we go. All right, dive into a little bit of the fun facts here. Basically, this is going to be a 92 proofer, right? It's distilled and bottled at the High West Distillery in Utah. Mash bill on this is going to be 84% corn, 8% rye, and 8% malted barley. It is a blend, though. This is on the bottle. It says a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. So we're looking at an average of a 4-year age. So yeah. Let's go ahead and dive in, give it a little pour. Tuxedo Cat in the chat, what's going on, buddy? One thing I did notice about this bottle, I thought they got me some like crazy stuff going on. It has like in the glass, it has like glitter or sparkles. Well, I'm having a stroke or something. But yeah, it looks kind of weird. I don't know if you guys can see it on this. Let's see. Can you see? Like in this, it looks like it's like dust almost. That's weird, right? I don't know. That's just a me thing, I guess. Does it? Does it have a high? This one, it's kind of a weak one. This is like kind of loose. Softball. But yeah, so what are you guys drinking on tonight? I figured we go in, do a quick live stream because we may not be able to do one on Friday. So, ooh. On the nose, you get tons of caramel, a little bit of vanilla, like maybe like a honey sweetness as well. Very sweet though, definitely very sweet. But yeah, there's some of the facts. You can check it out. I pulled it straight from their website, so that's where I get it all. Yeah, I mean, on the palate for this, it's kind of like a toasty warm kind of taste. Maybe that's because it's in the car, who knows, but you don't get as much sweetness as you would on the nose. You get a lot more like caramel and vanilla notes, just like muted down on sweetness. You get a little bit of spices in there as well, which aren't bad. Nothing like a rye, but maybe like a touch of baking spice or something. But overall, pretty good. I'm not going to complain about it. Plus the bottle was like around $30, which isn't a bad price for a bottle. It was the only one they had left at of High West when I went to the liquor store, but I didn't go to the usual one I go to. I just went to the one around the corner. I checked out what they had for the E.H. Taylor and the Stag. They went up in price for some reason. Don't know if that's like a new thing that they're trying out of like just keep jacking up the price until somebody buys it. But they had Stag Junior basically at around $500 now, which again, absolutely crazy. And they had E.H. Taylor for around $350, which again, not a fan of that. Eric's in the chat. What's happening? Sorry I missed Saturday. Blanton's in 107. That's funny. Yeah, well, I mean, it's Tuesday, right? Is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday? Oh, it's Wednesday. My days are all mixed up. Okay, well, it's Wednesday, hump day. Figured we pop in. Again, we may not be able to do a live stream on Friday, so we figured get it out of the way now. And if we just happen to have another one on Friday, then so be it. On the back here it says Master Distiller Brennan Coyle and founder David Perkins. So if you guys know who those are, then maybe you like this bottle. But I'm going to say right off the bat, it's not my favorite. I like mine to be just, I mean, maybe it's the proof, right? Because it is only 94 proof. If it had like a little bit more kick to it or a little bit more dynamics in the flavor, I would like really like it. But it's not bad, right? You can't complain about a good bourbon overall. I think it'd be pretty good in an old fashioned though, right? But I didn't break out the old fashioned stuff yet, so can't do that review today, but maybe on Friday. Tuxedo Cat says, I'm drinking a 25-year-old rum right now. Eric's back. He's back. Eric, you telling me, he switches his name like every other day. Like every other comment he does is a different name. Cats will do that to you. 9 identities, is that what's going on here? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's see if we can do a little poll action. Why I try to get this going? I don't know how to. All right, my wife's doing it with all the people she's been texting and whatnot. Everybody's kind of voting on if we're gonna have a boy or a girl, since we're not gonna be finding out until she gives birth, which could be any minute at this point. So feel free to go vote in the polls on that, and yeah, that way she can get a consensus of what we're actually gonna have apparently. Eric says the reviews I've seen on High West have been good, but the best reviews I seem to be the High West bourbon rye that I can't find anywhere. Can't find it here. Yeah, so like the one thing I do know is like there's a little bit of hype behind High West, or there's not as much of it as everybody thinks out there. Because if I go to a store, if they have them, they're gonna have like just 1 or 2 bottles like left in the section that they're selling it from. So it's either selling out quick or they're not getting a lot of stock. But I do hear that some of like the double rise and the cast strength and stuff like that are like really sought after. So when I saw this one, I figured, I was like, yeah, might as well just pick it up. Again, this is like probably their standard mash bill, standard like bottle in a sense. And then everything else probably built off of that one or one of the ryes. So I imagine this is probably what's in most of the bottles, and then they're just kind of having fun with the other bottles. So again, it's not bad, but I'd love to see something else done with it as well, just to kind of like spice it up, you know? Maybe not with spices, but like get crazy with it. I don't care. Eric says, is she carrying high or low? If you walked into a room with 20 people, they'd be split down the middle. Some say that she's carrying high, some say she's carrying low. And that's where like everybody kind of has their guesses, right? But nobody's ever really gonna know. You know, people try to dictate what she's gonna have based off of her cravings. Some people will say based off the carrying. I can't remember what else they were doing. But the consensus, I think, on her polls right now is like most people are saying girl. There's a lot of girls in her family, but there's mainly only boys in my family, so that's what we're going with right now. That's all the info I can give you. Tuxedo Cat says I voted girls because Murphy's Law. You're about to be outnumbered, pal. So I had this like thought process, right? The moment she told me I said girl, because the world likes to show me how wrong I am a lot of the times. And so I automatically said girl. So the world's either going to have to show me that I was right or prove me wrong, which then we get a boy. I obviously would prefer to have a boy for the first kid, just that way. You have a girl first and then the younger, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? What were the tasting notes on this one? Was there anything even in this? Try to go pull up them. One thing I did find out with the High West Distillery, you can actually get married at their distillery. It looks really nice out there in Utah. I mean, Utah looks nice pretty much anywhere, but it's kind of crazy that they're offering like special events and weddings and stuff like that. So if anybody's getting married at the High West Distillery and they need a photographer, hit me up. I'll just have you pay for travel. On the tasting notes on their website says candy corn and honey nougat and sweet cornbread biscuits. It also says on the finish caramel apple. I don't taste any of that. Like even if like it smells sweet, but it smells more like the caramel and vanilla combining into like a sweetness. I think somebody was just having fun with what they were typing up. If you're outnumbered, I know I'm you know how I'm feeling. $3. Jeez. $3. No wonder Eric drinks. Yeah, exactly. Chicken nugget. Nougat. There's the tasting notes, by the way. Right under the taste, it kind of tells you the finish too, but it says it has complexity to stand on its own. It's good on its own. It's not bad by any means. I could drink it neat, just how it is, but it probably wouldn't be my first go-to. But again, I think one of the things I've learned with tasting bourbons and whiskeys and stuff like that is your first drink, the second drink, until you get kind of halfway down the bottle, you really don't know what you're drinking. So that's just my thought process on a lot of this stuff, because there's a few bottles that I like, but then I won't like it by the time we get to the bottom. There's some that I really don't care for, but once I get a few pours in, not in the same night, obviously, like multiple different days, sometimes those kind of grow on me and then I like them quite a bit. So Eric says, no doubt, Cat. My oldest is 15. Oh, man, and you have 3? You're in it for the long haul still. But, yeah. Yeah, it drinks like a 90 proofer. Is it 92? Yeah, it's 92 proof. It drinks very soft. No, like, I don't really get a lot of ethanol. Like, maybe when you first like kind of go in for the nose, but you kind of more get the sweetness off of it. No burn on like the finish or anything like that. And sometimes I want that though. You know, sometimes I want a good like little spark in there, but it's warm, right? You know, like when you kind of take like something that's really high proof and it just kind of like burns all the way down, right? Those are just super hot, you know, but this is more of like it warms your palate up, but it doesn't get far enough to burn it. So I kind of like that though. That part about the 92 here, it drinks very nice. How about that? I'll sum it up. I left my water across the room though. We're done for. Did I spill something? But yeah. So Let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you think this is a pass, or are you picking this up? For about 30 bucks, I'd say, like if you don't have this on your shelf and you can find it, I'd say probably pick it up, but it's got to be something where you have like a good amount of bottles at home where you can kind of bounce around from bottle to bottle. The price tag on this, I believe, was like $32.99 was like the exact what it was here. So I call it 30 bucks. 30 to 35 bucks is probably where you're going to find it at. And it's a decent bottle, right? And that's why I said, I don't think like if you had only 35 bucks, would you just say, hey, I got to go pick up High West? No, save your 35 bucks, get something else. You can pick up Buffalo Trace for that. You could pick up a bottle of Woodford's for that. Both of those I would prefer over this. But again, like if we're trying to stick around that 90 proof range. But if you have all that kind of stuff and you're just looking for something new to just to add to the shelf, I think this would be a pretty good bottle to pick up. I also like the taller bottles for some reason. I don't know why. That's what I like on the shelf. Just looks better. I feel like I'm spilling something. Something sounds like it's dripping in here. Losing my mind a little bit there. But yeah, overall, I'm glad I picked it up. I think it would be good. I think a lot of people, if somebody else came over to the house to kind of just have a drink and to taste some bourbon and stuff, I probably would gravitate towards this one for them because it's easy to drink. It is sweeter. It's a little bit different than, the stuff that's super duper sweet. And it can kind of start getting them in the realm of working up the proof points, So if they've had Woodford, they've had Elijah Craig, they've had like some 80 and 90 proof, you could slowly work up the ladder with something like this as a good stepping stone. So what a review. Eric says, I've been wanting a bottle, but I guess I haven't been looking in the right spots. Yeah, like I don't know, I think you were in here, but the one thing I'll say is like I see the bottles out there, but there's always very few of them. And whenever you go looking for a certain bottle in particular, it's never going to be there. So that's just the way I've always felt. Anytime I go to a store and I'm like, I really want this bottle, I never find that bottle. I was just going in and saying, hey, I got 50 bucks to spend on a bottle. Let's find something. And this is what I ended up coming out with. Because, again, you guys recommended it to me. Said, check out some High West stuff. I've had some other people say that High West is pretty good. I've seen reviews online. So I figured I wanted to give it a little test, see if it's good. Because if it is, I want to get the other stuff. And I'm going to look into the other ones. Definitely like cask strength or any other like special releases. I'll definitely like look for those. And if I find them, great. I'll pick them up for the right price, of course. But yeah, if not, I'm not going to die for these bottles. All right. Like I'm not going to camp out and hunt them down that way. But yeah. I also saw that had like a little goat, like a little ram on it. So you guys know me. I'm weird for like the RT stuff. So it looks like a bottle with a story. It has a little story on the back. I'm not going to read it to you because it's not bedtime. But whenever you have time, you can go to their website, read it, or just go buy yourself a bottle and then you can read it. But it kind of tells the tasting notes and stuff like that. It's not like a good story in a sense. Like the Redwood Empires, those have like actual stories into it. And if you guys know, I don't remember it, but there's a type of whiskey or a bourbon or something like that that actually have like short stories built into like their bottles and like the artworks, like the cover of the book or the cover of the movie that it's like talking about. Do you guys know which bottles those are? I'll look it up here in a minute if nobody knows, but those, some are cool, some are not, but like I want to try them just because I want to read those little stories. I think that part makes a good bourbon or whiskey. It gives it some character, There's 25 of you guys in the chat now. Welcome to Call Me Old Fashioned. We talk about bourbon, whiskey, and all that kind of stuff. If you're having a good time, you're having a good drink, maybe hit the like button, maybe hit the subscribe. Hey, nobody's stopping you. Just saying. Yeah, I wish it tasted like the cornbread that it's talking about because there's literally everywhere you go. It says like cornbread on here. I don't taste no cornbread. I love a good cornbread in here. It does have like an 84% corn mash bill, and I guess that's where they're kind of getting at, but I don't see it. It tastes like a more like just basic sweet bourbon with decent caramel notes, decent vanilla notes, and maybe like honey or something like that could be in there. Tuxedo Cat with the weird emoji thing, like if he's texting on a 1992 like phone. I don't know what that was. 1992, did they have cell phones? I can't remember. Hulk smash, hit the like button. So yeah, good time, good time. Yeah. So if you guys have other recommendations for other bottles, feel free to fire away because I had a list of notes, but I deleted it on accident. So I'm gonna need to re-update that. So damn Southerners think everything tastes like cornbread. You're telling me. That's funny though. Yeah, I mean, I wish it did. I wish it had. This isn't actually a Southerner thing. This is Utah. Park City, Utah. Little Oregon Trail action, you know? Cat, you gonna eat your cornbread? Cornbread. Doo-doo-ch. You can't make me. But yeah. That's all I really had for you guys today. So now that is the review. If you want me to give it a rating, let's just say 7.1. There you have it. That's review. One sip, everybody knows the rules. No, I think it's good. I think it's worth the money. I don't think it'd be bad money spent. I do think it'd be something that you want to pick up after you have like a couple of bourbons on the shelf already where you're not like only spending that money to buy that bottle. But I do think that it's like a good crowd bourbon, right? Like you don't have to love bourbon whiskey to be like, okay, this is good. And you also can't be like, oh, it's got to be 150 proof or I don't like it. Like you can like this and just be okay with this bourbon. So that is the review for that. So now we're going to move into the portion where we just kind of kick back, have a couple drinks. You guys can recommend anything on my shelf. Maybe I give it a little taste. And we'll just kind of hang out for the next few minutes and yeah, just kind of kick it. So if you're here for the review is now over. If you're watching this after the fact, make sure you guys tune into the lives. We go live typically every Friday around 8:35, and then we do spontaneous lives during the week whenever I feel like it. Wife's due. We're actually scheduled to be in Deuce this weekend, so it's looking like the Friday live's not going to happen, but you never know. So Eric says, great hanging out. Peace and love to all. Keep pouring. You leaving us, Eric? He's like, no. I feel like I have to announce when the review portion's done because when you come to the actual video portion, like when people watch it after the fact, they're like, all you do is talk to the chat. I'm like, I'm sorry. No, I'm not shutting it down yet, but some people get like crazy in the comments after when they rewatch this stuff and they're like, I thought it was a review. You're talking about alcohol pads instead. And I'm like, I'm just hanging out. So if you're watching after the fact, come hang out. We got some people in the chat that do weird stuff. So you know what's funny? It doesn't pop up on here, but thank you, Robert Arnold, for the sub. I appreciate it. Welcome to the family. It doesn't pop up on this screen though. Like I get the email notifications and stuff like that for some reason. But yeah, I wish it did. Then I could pull it over, right? Get all fancy with it like this. Boom. Oh wait, there we go. Like that. We can pull Eric's little thing over. Just saying, we get crazy with it. No, I said we'll hang out for a little bit, have a couple pours. The wife's going to Dairy Queen to get ice cream. Tide Pods? What? So yeah, give me some recommendations on the on bourbons to pick up, or whiskeys. Or if you just have something totally off topic that you want to recommend, like if you have a really good like gin or something, feel free. Feel free to just throw it my way. I'm here to figure it out. I do gotta do that vodka eventually. I may save that till after the wife gives birth, and then she can kind of get in on that because she did like vodka. I don't know when she'll be able to drink again, but Tuxedo Cat said Dairy Queen, yum. Yeah, I mean, oh no, don't ban you. Ooh, that would have been funny. Yeah, her cravings of late has been ice cream. And normally, like when I'm coming home from like a wedding or something like that, and it's late, I'll swing by McDonald's. But I shit you not, every night, all they say is the ice cream machine's down. But I worked at McDonald's for like 5 or 6 years. I know it's not actually down, and I know what button to look for. So when I pull up, I can see the little blue light still on. I'm like, it ain't broken. You just don't want to make it. McDonald's, bro. McDonald's has gone downhill. Did you fall on the keyboard, or can I not read? Maybe both. Dun, dun. Eric says, "What bottle are you gonna pop to celebrate?" I know, right? I haven't got anything yet, and that's one of the reasons why I went to the liquor store today. Is I was like, you know what? I know they have the E.H. Taylor there, where I can just walk in and buy it. If they wouldn't have jacked the prices up even farther, I probably would have got it. But I'm not spending $500 on Stag Junior. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna spend $350 for E.H. Taylor small batch. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like that's just crazy. And that's why, like, if they would have been like $100, 150, I probably would have got it still, just to like just have it, not to like think about it or nothing. Because that's what I want to try next. Those are the bottles I'm trying to find. But I have a hard time trying to spend that kind of money on a bottle. It's gonna ruin it for me. You know, I'm sure it's a great bottle, great liquid inside. But if I spend too much on it, I'm gonna like build a dislike for it. You know what I mean? So, High Top said signed into all my accounts and clicked girl. I was hoping you were gonna bet against me, so that way, you know, my betting streak can continue. You know, just all downhill. All concerned why you're getting slammed with old girl about the pop. Also concerned why you're getting slammed. I'm not getting slammed. You told me to wait to have kids, so we're waiting. I'm more concerned of why you're not. So I fully expect you to bring the old-fashioned stuff this time. So that's a review. Now I can hear myself echoing. She must be back with ice cream. Tuxedo says, if you ever find, here, let me just pull it over. If you ever find 2XO bourbon, you should get it. Get the American Oak. It's half the price of others and good for mixing. I like to make old fashions and Manhattans with it. That one, I know that you did recommend that. I have still looked for that one. Can't find that one either. But maybe I'm looking at the wrong place. Maybe that's just me. But I'm not just looking for like a good mixing whiskey, right? That's a good part of it, right? It does need to make a good old fashioned. But what I'm also looking for is something that is good on its own. You know what I mean? Because sometimes like making a whole fashion, sometimes a pain in the butt, right? It's not always the move. Sometimes I like to just come in here, grab a quick, 6 or 15, 20 shots. You know what I mean? Just something light. High Top says, who says I wasn't? I mean, I did. I didn't know it was Wednesday till I started the stream, so I'm expecting you're going to be live here shortly. So, Eric says, maybe I shouldn't drink before I hunt and I can't find anything. Everything that you've mentioned, Eric, you say you can't find when you go to the liquor store. I want to know what you are finding at this point. Because if you're going in there hammered, you're probably coming out with like Tito's. Tito's and Patron, think you just stole it. Just, I got a hunt going. Here we go. Tuxedo says it is good plain too. It's about 46%. So a tad on the lower side, but smooth and nice. That's just my opinion. I think it's yummy. Hey, nothing wrong with that. If you like it, you haven't really had too many like recommendations that were like bad by any means. I mean, you're pretty big on Penelope, which is pretty good. But Tito's Skull and Fireball, yeah, that's what he's picking up. And he's like, babe, you're not going to believe what I found at the store today. Yeah. So that's yeah, that's I'll keep that on the list as well. What else did I see? Everybody's talking about that Still Austin bourbon or whiskey, something like that. I haven't looked too much into it, but I did I hear a lot of people talking about that. So I expect that to be something we look into as well. I haven't seen that on the shelves. Eric says it's just grab and run. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Sometimes, like, you go into like some weird liquor stores, and all you want to do is just grab something and get the fuck out. So I usually like to try and hang out in them and like look around and like find something good. But there's some places where, like, the place I went into today, they had like some like goth person working the register, and they looked like they were about to like cast a spell on me. So I was probably in that store for 45 seconds. So. They also had a really tiny bourbon selection, so I wasn't too stressed on like missing something. I'm like, yeah, all right, here we go. Tuxedo keeps saying that he has all these extra bottles in Colorado. I'm thinking what happens now is we just all move to Colorado since you have the stockpile. Yeah, the Debelize, or I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's I can't find what you're referring to because everything I find on it says bar. So like, let me see if I can pull it up, and then like I'll try to share my screen. Oh wait, I don't know if that's from here though, right? I may have just found it because I clicked it wrong, and it has a weird apostrophe in it. No, I'm not putting my email in. Get out of here. We got some like military stuff. What is this? It is Florida, I guess. Oh yeah, they are all over Jacksonville. What I can do, oh, here's their Instagram. There we go. 2,000 followers, 3,000 almost. Partnerships, let's see. Let's go through the whole trek here. Oh, they have a tasting calendar. Let's see what's coming up, guys. See if we can get on their list. Oh, this is like 83 weeks back. I'm not clicking through all that. Yeah, I definitely have not seen this bottle out because this bottle is like basic glass, but that's like a kind of like a bougie sticker, if that makes sense. Eric says, I read an article that made it sound like it was a distillery. I was just curious if it's a bar they may be trying to market it. To be honest, what I'm seeing on this, it's kind of very similar to like, I'm not knocking them by any means. So like, this is just from me looking at so many different pages of different stuff. It looks like it's probably like an MGP product that they're just putting into a different bottle. and they're just marketing the heck out of the bottle, because usually distilleries, what they tend to do is they market heavy on like the process and the mash bill and things like that. And usually when it's a distillery as well, like on the label, for example, here, like you'll see it says Park City, Utah, right? It'll say batch number, it'll say alcohol percentage, and then on the back, there's always a story. You know what I mean? There's always something on the back. And what I see from this, let me see if I can find one. Yeah, I can't even share my screen now. It's not set up. Let me do this. Go here. There we go. Let's see if I can pull this up. There we go. That's close enough. You guys can see the label doesn't really have much on there, except for it says vanilla flavored whiskey, 35% alcohol, 70 proof, right? That's for this one in particular, right? And they're just heavy on the cocktails, but there's nothing distillery wise on here. I guess they're vanilla. It's like a type of Crown Royal. Not Crown Royal, but you know what I mean? It's just like how Crown has their vanilla crown and stuff like that. And like, let's go to the website real quick. Like if you go to our story, it just kind of tells you like more about like a little bit of the meaning of like almost like why they created it. And then it just has locations in Georgia, or California, Georgia, and Florida. And then it has a cocktail tab, right? Where, well, they do have a, see, I would never know until I went to the cocktails page, but they have a straight bourbon whiskey that's about 90 proof, aged 4 years in a charred oak barrel, right? But, and it kind of tells you the, can I click on that? No, it's not clickable. But again, like, look, those are the two different bottles. They look identical though. The only difference is right down here and there's a little gold lettering is where it says it. So that's what makes me think MGP product, just bottled differently. So, but I could be completely wrong too. You know, it could be something where there's this distillery here that I've never heard of, never seen, and maybe that's just how it goes. Jacksonville is massive, by the way. So like St. Augustine's like 3 like exit on like 95, like 3 highway exits. And their distillery is downtown where everybody goes anyway. So you can see it, you can go in, walk through it, and they market that really heavily, right? So maybe they're newer and they're just trying to pump out cocktails for like clubs and stuff like that, and that's how people will find them. So who knows? Yeah, that's why I said maybe they source to like an MGP, which would be the most logical thing to do for a whiskey, but they don't show the back, which on the back it would say bottled in Indiana, and if it did, then we'd know it would be MGP, and we would know it's just them putting like vanilla flavoring inside their, inside their product. So who knows? So yeah, the votes are in on the poll. The poll is 67% girl, 33% boys. So you guys think we're having a girl? I guess you guys will find out. Again, the one thing I do have prepared, where is it? Oh, I packed it. The dad gang hats that I wear, like here's like a tan one. I have a green one for if it was a boy, or I'll wear this one, or a pink one for the girl. So that's one of the things like nobody else knows when they come into the nursery. Like that's one of the ways they're going to find out, along with like stuff that the kid has. So if you guys, I don't know if you guys are any of the ones that are in the chat that were asking about these. Again, if you are, there's a code in the description. Feel free to save yourself 15% off, and go get you a little Dad Gang hat. Ghost Ballister says, "Oh my God, I'm back. Sorry, different device. Didn't know you left." First comment I've seen from you, but welcome. Ghost Bleasters. There's something strange. And welcome back. But yeah. What other noises on here you think? Party! Don't know what that is. No, it's me, Tuxedo. Midstream identity crisis? Okay. I see where you're going with it. My friend is using my phone. Well, tell him he should be watching the live then. I don't know what to tell you. I am about to shut it down though, guys. It's 8:30. We gotta go do a little curb walks. Not me, obviously, but you know. You say fart noise? Bro, I would die if there is one. Hey, we can keep that one though, right? How good's the bourbon? Real good. Yeah, another name change, right? I was fitting to call you rookie. No, there's no fart noises on this, but we can always add one on. I don't know if I would put that on the stream. That might push some people away, but you never know. But I am going to go ahead and shut it down, though, so we can go get some curb walks and stuff done. Again, unless something else changes, and I'll keep you guys posted if there's going to be one or not. But keep your eyes peeled for Friday, 8:35, a little live stream, a little drinky drink, stuff like that. Because, yeah, that's the plan as of right now. So, again, if you're new, like, subscribe to all that jazz. If you want to get yourself a little Dad Gang hat, link in the description. But other than that, guys, peace. I'll see you guys on the other side. Eric says, congrats on the new edition. Hope all is healthy and well, but a good bottle to celebrate. We've got to find that bottle. Hopefully, we have that ready for Friday. So, hopefully. I'll see you guys in a few days. Peace.